In this video, we're going to be learning how to cut and sew and even make simple designs on children's clothes. So if this is what you're interested in, kindly go ahead and stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment and let me know your feedback. Stay tuned. So first, I'm going to be folding this cloth just this way. I folded it into two, and this is just for the front part. Okay, so I just folded it into two. I want to make sure that the chest measurement is completely on the on this fold. That's the chest measurement plus the sewing allowance. So next, I'm cutting out the length. That's from the shoulder to the half length. Shoulder to the half length. I have about 12 inches, so I'm just cutting to 12 inches. I'll just add half inch when I'm cutting it out. All right, so and this is it. So after this, now I'll go ahead, don't forget I folded it into two. I'll go ahead and mark my neck width of 2.5 and my neck depth of 2.5. You can vary with the neck depth. Okay, so the shoulder I'm using is 5.5 for my shoulder and 5.5 for my armhole. And this child is about 3 years plus, and the child is on the plumpy side, so this is the measurement I'm using. Okay, so I just went ahead and then marked my neck depth of 2.5. So this is it. I'll go for the curves now. Quickly curve out the neck and the armhole just this way, just with a little curve. I'll just go ahead and give it a little slant at the shoulder, and this is it. Now after this, I'll quickly mark my the chest measurement of the child. What I'm using is 6 plus 2 inches, so 8 inches. This is plus my sewing allowance, so 8 inches I marked. I know that children don't really have any curve around their waist, so I just maintain that 8 inches down. If it's for an adult, an adult, most of the adults were shaping in nature, but for children they're still growing. So I just marked my dart measurement, and that I used 2.5 for this dart. This is for the front dart. Okay, so after this, I'll cut out the neck, the shoulder slant, and the armhole quickly. So this is it. Now for this design, you can vary with what you want, but look at the way I'm just making my design. I just drew something that I wanted. It's not that I pre-studied it. I just drew something that I just felt that would be nice. I went with a curve. You can even go with a sharp triangle. You can go with whatever you want. It mustn't be a curve. Depends on your inspiration. Okay, so this is what I did, and then I cut it out. Now whatever style that or design you're choosing to go with, don't forget that if you're leaving out another fabric, that's using another fabric as a combination, you can place the one that you cut out just the same way that I'm placing mine. All you have to do is just to add sewing allowance. That's sewing like ½ inch for your sewing allowance on whatever you are cutting. Just look at this way I'm cutting it out. I just added the ½ inch for my sewing allowance around the corner. Okay, so with this now, I'll go ahead and stitch it together just this way. This is the way I just stitched it. Very simple, and the cloth comes out very fine at the end. So see the way it will look when you have it. You pin from this side, just follow the curve. So now for the back side of this dress, I'm marking my half length. That's my shoulder to my half length. Don't forget, I'm bringing out my zip allowance because this dress is going to have a zip allowance. Okay, so I'll just mark from that point that I marked. Sorry that it's not that clear, it's because of the background of the material. Okay, so from that point I will go ahead and mark the length, that's the shoulder to my half length. Okay, but before then, I'm starting from this point that I marked my zip allowance. I'll still mark the same 2.5 that I used for my neck width, and then mark my shoulder. I will still mark my neck depth, and then I just curved and I came down a bit for my shoulder slant. I will mark my armhole as well. So with this now, the back is settled. I'll go ahead and then curve out for the armhole. Alright, very simple. And then I'll take my measurements. Don't forget that we're working with 8 inches for the chest measurement, so I just connected it down, and there is no curve at the waist area, so I'm just cutting it out, and I'm notching my zip allowance point where my zip is going to be starting from, and then I'll quickly mark my dart as well, the same 2.5 I'm using for the front. So this is it. So I just finished turning out the back and I inserted my zip, and this is the front. I turned it with my lining. So I'll just go ahead and shape it up with my exact with the exact body measurement of the child, okay, and then stitch up the shoulder as well. So once I have done this, I will attach the lower part of this dress. I already gathered it. I've made a video on how to gather, a skirt or a gown or whatever you are gathering. Okay, so I'll just connect this gathered part to the upper part, and I didn't even divide it. I turned the lining over. I turned the material with a lining. It's a full lined gathers. So I'll just stitch up this size, and then I'll show you how it looks when I'm connecting it. So while I'm at this, if you're here to subscribe to my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that anytime I upload a video, you'll be the first to be notified. Thank you. So because I'm using a full guard, I'm not even dividing the gathers. I'm opening up. That means I'm going to be attaching this at the zipper side. Okay, so I just opened it up a bit so that I will attach one end of this to this point, and then I will sew it round, connect it to my zipper okay, and this is totally optional. You can decide to divide these gathers into that's between the front and the back, and then connect it like the normal way. Okay, so I'll just connect this round and then I'll show you. This is the simplest way to connect the gathers. Okay, you just have to open up the zip if you're using this type of zip and connect it round. Once you are done stitching it up round, you now stitch the zipper to the point where you want it to end and stitch it on both sides, then connect it from that point to the upper part. So let me just do that now. I just stitched up the zipper to the end this way. Then after that, I'll come down at that point where I have my zipper allowance. I will still stitch it up this way from here down. Just ensure you're moving with that same measurement, and that's all. Okay, so to connect the sleeves now, because we're almost done with this dress, to connect the sleeve I just use the basic normal way of cutting the sleeve, and then I will turn it with a lining so that I can just gather it up and then add elastic. See the way I just created a loop at the end so that I can pass my elastic through the end inside, then the upper side I will just gather it up. So after that, I just gathered up the upper side, and look at the loop I created at the ending so I can pass my elastic through. So I'll just pass that up quickly and do that for the other side as well and stitch it up. It's that simple. So this is virtually almost everything for this dress. Just turn it to the back so that you can stitch it up this way. You can pin it so that you can pass this through the other side and then stitch it up. So thank you for watching.